Hello and welcome to the first installment of my virtual tour vlog. Thanks for coming along on the tour with me. I am in Breda, Netherlands. It's a gorgeous day. It's been a gorgeous week since I arrived a week ago from Nashville. I got really lucky with the weather. There's a Dutch guy around the corner blasting dance music versions of popular hits. So it's European singers reinterpreting Guns N' Roses and Soundgarden and Bob Marley and Ed Sheeran and on and on. It's pretty amazing and pretty European. It's all day. I have a couple of days off in between tours, and I wanted to, before I talk about the tour, show you this. This is my friend James, or Yemshe. He is my friend Brian's dog, and he loves it when you play harmonica. Listen to this. Isn't that amazing? If you try to stop, he begs you to keep going. So if you're wondering what musicians do on their day off, they sit around and play harmonica for dogs. So, welcome to Europe. I just came from Amsterdam, where I played a house concert right in the heart of the city, in a gorgeous old flat on a grand piano. Stunning, really. And it's the House Concert Amsterdam series. They've been going for 10 years. My host took me on a bicycle tour of Amsterdam, which is one of the huge upsides of playing these intimate house concert series, that you get to hang out with the folks who live there and get to know the city intimately. The audience, the attendance of the concert was not great because of this. There was a huge protest going on in the center of the city against the COVID protocols in Netherlands. Speaking of COVID protocols, I had very interesting timing for starting this tour. The day that I was slated to leave Nashville, I started seeing these headlines saying that the European Union was voting to keep out all non-essential Americans. That's me. The COVID rates in America are 4 times as high as they are in Europe, so I get it. But that meant that I arrived at the airport not knowing whether I could leave or not. I was sitting there in the waiting area listening to these announcements as updates came back from Europe. Italy, for instance, was insisting on tests even if you had a fully vaccinated card. I was on a very empty plane, but they let me get on the plane from Nashville to Newark and eventually to Frankfurt. But it was me and not much of anybody else. And fortunately, I got here, they let me in with a passport and a vaccination card. I arrived in Frankfurt and wasn't sent back to America. Little victories, huh? And it has been absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous weather here. So they've been able to set up a lot of outdoor concerts. Concert series that I played before that were indoors are now in these temporary structures, these tents, so that audiences could sit outside and listen. Really pretty, but only if it's great weather, and we got so lucky with perfect weather. The Germans have been incredibly generous, as always. The very first night that I was in Germany, they took me to a Turkish, Mexican, German restaurant. A Mexican restaurant run by Turks. They were playing bossa nova, which is Brazilian, and serving tuna fish salad and French fries and offering me ketchup with my fajitas and tarragon wrapped chicken. It was the most interesting Mexican I've ever had. I asked for guacamole, I asked for horchata. They said, "What are those?" It was delightful and strange. And then my German tour began in earnest. In Bremen, Germany, which is like a second home for me. My friend Heike's garden, she hosts these incredible concerts in her garden. This is my very second tour. Isn't this like the best place to play music? To arrive, you can see I haven't even opened my suitcase there, and she's already got my Wingless Bird t-shirts set up, and I'm ready to play some music. And then when I'm done, I'm eating fresh apples and walnuts from the tree right outside her door, and I'm drinking fresh yellow plum liqueur made with vodka and yellow plums and yogurt. And of course, I'm playing concerts.
Well, I'm guessing the Christmas is canceled this year. My silence, America. my silent America.
Bremen, Germany has been very special to me. They used to have this concert series at a bunch of venues through the town, and they would bring in people from all over the world to play these tours. That was my first introduction to Germany and to Bremen. Now a lot of these venues are just closed, and these artists are gone. So there's a sense in Germany, as I arrive here, that it's kind of a ghost town for musicians, a little strange. More than a little strange. A lot of the venues I played in Germany are simply no longer. And that's because of the pandemic. They couldn't survive. A lot of artists and a lot of venue owners have just had to change careers. Here's the most incredible example of that. I played a couple of days ago in the Ahr Valley, which is famous for its vineyards, very beautiful. They got hit with a spectacular flood, catastrophic flood last month. Look at that. Villages are gone, venues I used to play are gone, lives are gone. And we drove through the center of the city so that I could play for volunteers in the midst of all of this repair. Thousands of volunteers coming from all over Europe. Look at those drowned cars. Thousands of volunteers every week to come and pick up of what's left and repair. It's an incredible vibe. The people who live there are grateful, and the people who are coming there to help are bringing fresh water and food. There's the Red Cross leading the volunteer expedition, and there's a volunteer camp where I ended up playing a couple of times that day. Just set up in the middle of a bunch of tents, thousands of people, and started playing songs for them. This is at the end of their day here. They're exhausted, they're getting a dinner, they're feeling amazing because they helped all day. The vibe was incredible. And they seemed to like the music. So what a great way to end an incredible week in the Ahr Valley. We are family. That is the end of my vlog for this first week of the tour. I will see you next week. I will have been in Hamburg, I will have been in Denmark, and headed to Sweden. Don't miss it! Check your email. See you in a week.